Alright, so I'm excited for today's video. I bought a new car, new to me. It's a 66 Mustang Coupe. It was a C code, 289 automatic, and that's what's in it currently. I was told it does run and drive. We'll check it out here in a second, but you can see from those clips, things are a little cruddy all over, which is what I was looking for. My goal with this car is to make a daily driver. I'm not gonna drive it daily, but I'd like to have something that I actually will enjoy and drive. And just over the years, I've built cars for myself where I fully restore them, and I don't want to drive them because I don't want to nick the paint or something to happen and then you got to fix it, and then it's just like, it just drives you crazy thinking about it. At least for me it does. So that's why I was looking for something like this to do for the channel. I just wanted to buy something that I wouldn't be afraid to take it out and drive it, beat on it. If it got a scratch, it doesn't matter. And that's this car. I'm not going to paint the outside, so what you see is what it's going to be like. I'm going to try and straighten some things out, fill some of the rust holes in, just to make it presentable a little bit more. Just a good driver is the goal, but we'll go over it here and I'll show you some of the things that are going to get changed and just an idea of where I'm going with this car. So with this car, I plan on making it just a nice driver. Looking in the engine bay, we'll start here first, I guess. It is a small block in it. I was told it does run. I didn't hear it run, but I'm going to pull the drive line, just go through the engine. I'm going to check for compression first before I pull it out, just to check over everything to see if even I can use this engine, which I'm really hoping to. That would save a lot, which is the theme of this car, is trying to do it budget friendly, keep it as cheap as possible, use up as many parts as I have laying around, which I have some that I'll show you. So engine, if it all checks out, it'll get re-gasketed. I'll paint the engine because I'll have it out. New water pump, and just probably a new oil pan because it's dented on the bottom. But just clean everything up, re-gasket, put it back together the way it is, and that's it for the engine. I have a Holley 2-barrel carburetor that's brand new in a box that I'm going to use for this car just because I have it. It's brand new. It'll be a nice driving car with that. Like I said, I'm not going to hop it up really at all, besides an exhaust to make it sound good, which it does have tri-wise on it. They're a little rusty, but it just looks like surface rust, so I'm hoping I can pull them off, sandblast them, paint them, and reuse them. But it'll get a new radiator, new hoses. Just the mechanical parts of it will get changed out, spark plugs, wires, put Petronics in it, and that's pretty much it for the engine bay of what my plan is, really. Otherwise, I'm not painting. I'm not intending on painting and clean. I'm just going to clean up the engine bay and leave it the way it is. I think it'll clean up pretty nice actually once I wash, degrease, and clean that engine bay up. So that'll be good. Paint wise, there's chips, there's scratches, there's surface rust popping through, which is all going to stay. I'm just going to detail it to clean it up as best as I can, and then go from there. Doors, everything opens, closes, trunk, latches the way it's supposed to, the windows go up and down, so I'm not even going to mess with any of that besides probably taking off the door panels, greasing the channels in it, and then putting new door panels and armrests back on. And that's it for the doors. I'm not going to paint the doors. The dash is actually in nice shape. The black one, it's nice, which you can't tell in here, it's a little dark, but I'm hoping that all my switches are going to check out all right. Gauges, the only thing I might add is a autometer, coolant, temperature gauge, and an oil pressure gauge, just so I can see a number on what those are at, because if I'm going to drive it a good bit, I'd like to keep track of what those are, because they're the important ones to look for. You can see it's an automatic, which is automatically going to get changed out for a stick shift. My dad actually has a 3-speed top loader that he pulled out of something way back when with a bell housing for a small block. So I'm going to put a 3-speed top loader transmission in, and I already have a manual pedal assembly that I have just in parts that I've kept. Rear seat is there. I'm going to try and clean it up because it actually looks pretty decent. But if I can't get rid of it, or if it turns out worse than it is and the stuffing's all eaten behind it by mice, I'll change that out. Headliner is going to get changed. You can kind of see there. There you go. It's ripped up, hanging down. So I'm going to pull the front and rear glass out of the car, do the headliner, and then I'll reseal the windows. So all these things that I'm saying that I'm going to do are all going to be videoed and here on the channel, which is why I'm excited to do this car, because it's just a bunch of different videos, kind of how-tos and just some follow-alongs that I can put on the channel. So if anyone's, you know, interested in how do you take out the back glass and the front glass, well, I'll show that. Headliner, I'll do a video on reinstalling the windows and putting the trims on, sealing those windows. I'll have videos on all that, putting carpet in, the door panels, dash pad, all that stuff I'm going to do videos on. And so pretty much the only rust that I'm going to deal with is the floor pans. You can see they're pretty rusty, but it's just the halves. So I'm going to cut it on the tunnel the whole way back, do halves on each side, change out the seat platforms, fix the toe boards on both sides, and that's the extent of the metal work that I'm doing to this car, which is nice to do. It's nice to say, just because I don't want to get that involved with it, because there's a certain point that I'm not trying to cross. I'm just trying to keep it simple and easy for this build. But that's it for the inside. Just going to clean everything up and put new carpet and, you know, upholstery and stuff like that in it. Trunk, I'm not going to do anything with besides clean it up. It's actually not that bad as far as rust. There's just a lot of surface rust. There's a little bit poking through on the tops here, but it's not bad. So I may just spray undercoat in here, put a new gas tank in, new line, and that'll do it for that. Just to show a couple of parts that I have sitting out right now. These are actually seats that I upholstered for the orange convertible you may have seen in some other videos. These were what I put in it first, and then I ended up trying to go more concourse correct with the car, so I reupholstered a set of stock seats and put them in that car. So I just had these laying around, so I'm going to use them for this car just because they're already done. It saves time, saves money because the money's already spent. I got some new floor mats that I had to go with black carpet. Part of the reason why I bought this car is because it actually came with a front Wilwood disc brake kit with a master cylinder, proportioning valve, and new brake lines for the whole car in that box there. It's a 4-piston red caliper front disc brake conversion kit. So I would like to do a back disc brake conversion kit also, just because I already have the front to make everything match, and that way stopping wise it's as good as it can get, and then go from there. As far as everything else, I mean, it's just going to be a journey here, so be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. Hit the like button, comment what you'd like to see as far as videos on doing this car. I tried to give a good detail of what I'm doing to the car, just so you know going forward, like if it's something that would align with something, a project that you're doing to your car, that you could watch these videos and hopefully it'll help you. That's part of my goal with this, is to just make some videos that would help people in those aspects of maybe doing floor pan halves, a headliner, door panels, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to doing this car. I'm going to jump into it. Hopefully I'll have a video out on starting some of that here this week, which would probably be pulling the front and rear glass out to get ready to do the floor pans, because the floor pans I'll do somewhat early, but also pulling the drive line out. So all those things to come. I know I'm talking a bunch, but I'm excited about this build, and from here, starting on this week here, I'll have some work videos. So if you're tired of me talking, the work is coming here this week in the next video. So look forward to that. Ring the bell there down on my channel. That'll alert you whenever I post my next video. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.